It started over trail mix. Seriously, a petty argument that somehow spiraled into her favorite threat. I came home from work, dropped a bag of trail mix on the counter, and before I could even take off my shoes, she gave me that look. Really? You bought the one with M/M's? I told you I'm cutting sugar. They didn't have the cranberry one, I said, trying to stay calm. This is all they had. She scoffed. You never listen. That's the problem. You don't respect what I ask. I poured a glass of water and took a breath. I was too tired to go through another performance. That's when she said it. I could leave you any time. Remember that. Usually, this is where I'd panic. Backpedal. Apologize. Offer to drive to 5 more stores just to fix it. But not this time. This time, I said, noted. Just that. No drama. No emotion. I rinsed my glass and walked past her. She blinked. That's it. What else is there? You don't care if I leave? You say it all the time. I'm starting to think you want me to. She didn't know what to say. For the first time, I hadn't followed the script. I didn't plead. I didn't beg. I didn't even ask if she was serious. She stormed into the bedroom and slammed the door. I sat on the couch and opened my laptop. The same couch where, not too long ago, I would have sat with my head in my hands, worried she might really go. But this time, I wasn't worried. I was done being held hostage by empty threats. She said she could leave any time? Fine. I'd finally decided to believe her. And that changed everything. The next morning, she acted like nothing happened. She asked if I wanted eggs. I said I was good. She waited for me to bring it up. I didn't. She left for work in a huff. That night, I got home before her. Made dinner for myself. Ate in silence. Watched a show alone. When she came back, she walked in expecting me to ask where she'd been. I just nodded at her and went back to my screen. She hated it. You're really acting like I don't exist? No, I said. I'm just not playing anymore. Playing what? The game where I pretend your threats don't hurt me. She didn't respond. Instead, she picked a new fight over something else, the laundry not folded right, or the thermostat being too low. I didn't even hear it. I was already miles away. She kept trying. But every time she said, maybe I should just leave, I'd reply, okay. Every time she paused, waiting for me to protest, I stayed quiet. And that silence. That's what scared her the most. Because for the first time, she knew I wasn't bluffing. She tried to ignore it at first. Pretend everything was fine. She'd hum in the kitchen, post cute selfies on her Instagram story, toss in fake little laughs when she spoke. But I could see it, the confusion growing in her eyes every time I didn't respond the way she expected. I wasn't being mean. I wasn't ignoring her out of spite. I just stopped offering parts of myself to someone who kept threatening to walk away with them. I still lived in the same apartment. Still folded laundry. Still cleaned up after dinner. But now, everything I did was quiet. Detached. There was no warmth in my routines anymore, only distance. The kind of distance that you don't measure in feet, but in energy. And she felt it. She started testing me. You're quiet lately. I'm thinking. About what? About things. That was it. I didn't feed her with more. Didn't reassure. Didn't crack open the door she used to walk through so easily. On day 3, she brought up old memories. Remember that cabin trip last fall? Just us, wine, stars, no phones. I nodded. Yeah. Good weekend. She paused, waiting for more. I didn't offer it. Later that night, she said, I miss that version of us. I do too. That silence that followed wasn't peaceful. It was full of realization. She was reaching for something that wasn't there anymore. I started leaving the apartment more. Not sneaking around, just living my life. I went to the gym again. I stayed late at work. I didn't ask if she needed anything when I went grocery shopping. One night she said, "You didn't get my oat milk. They were out. You could have gone to another store." I didn't feel like it. That shut her up. Because she knew that was her line. That was the same energy she used on me 100 times before. Now she was hearing it from the other side. It wasn't just about oat milk. It was about me choosing myself in small ways. Ways she could no longer interrupt. Then came the night I left my laptop open. On it, an apartment listing. Studio. Modest. Affordable. Bookmarked and fully loaded. She saw it. "What's this?" "An option," I said. "For you. For whoever needs it." "You're looking to move?" "I'm preparing." "For what?" "For when you leave. Like you said you would." She didn't reply. Just stood there. She was starting to understand. The moment she used that line in the middle of a dumb argument, I had stopped being her safety net. And she wasn't prepared to fall without it. That week, I made more changes. Small ones, but intentional. I canceled a couple of subscriptions. Streaming services we barely used but I always paid for. I started meal prepping for one instead of two. The second shelf in the fridge, the one where I used to stack her yogurt, her smoothies, her little health drinks, it was empty now. When she noticed, she asked, "You didn't buy groceries for both of us?" "I figured you might not be here much longer." That shut her up. She left the kitchen and went quiet the rest of the night. Later, I left another apartment tab open. One clearly in her budget. Cheap. Small. Not awful, but nothing like the apartment we shared. The next day, she confronted me again. "Why are you doing this?" "I'm not doing anything. Just getting ready for what you've been saying for months." "You're trying to push me out." "No. I'm just making it easier for you to leave." And that was the thing. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't cruel. I wasn't even angry anymore. I was just done. And nothing terrifies a manipulator more than losing access to your emotions. She tried a different angle. One morning I woke up to breakfast. Real breakfast. Pancakes. Bacon. Coffee. All made before I even got out of bed. I came into the kitchen and saw her smiling like nothing had happened. "Thought you could use a treat." "Thanks," I said. "That was nice of you." We ate in silence. She watched me the whole time, waiting for a spark. A soft moment. A sign that the old version of me was still in there. After we finished, she leaned in and asked, "Can we spend the day together?" "Like we used to." "I already have plans." "With who?" "Rashid. Helping him check out a new apartment." She froze. "Wait. What?" "He's thinking about moving into our building." Her voice cracked a bit. "Is he your new roommate?" I shook my head. "No. But someone might need a place soon." The implication hit her hard. For the first time, she realized she wasn't just dealing with distance. She was facing replacement. She spent the rest of the day quiet. No stories on social media. No snide comments. No sarcasm. Just silence. Because she finally understood this wasn't a warning. It was a transition. I wasn't threatening to leave. I was preparing to let her go. She didn't handle the silence well. The next phase was predictable. Desperation disguised as affection. She started cooking more. Dressing better around the house. Playing soft music when I got home. Even left a handwritten note one day on my pillow that said, "I miss us." I read it. Folded it. Left it on the counter. No response. That night she asked, "Did you see the note?" I did. Nothing to say. I'm thinking. She hated that. Because before, my emotions were always immediate. Now, she couldn't read me at all. The following day, she tried jealousy. Her phone started blowing up on the kitchen counter. Notifications with hearts and winks and "You free tonight?" from names I didn't recognize. She left it face up, screen bright, so I'd see every message. She even said, loudly enough to hear from the living room, "Tony says I looked amazing in that photo." I didn't react. Later, she sat next to me and said, "You don't care, do you?" "I care," I said. "Just not about games anymore." She was stunned. The tactic that always worked, gone. So she pivoted again. "Guilt. You've changed. You used to fight for me." "I used to be scared of losing you," I replied. "Now I'm more scared of keeping someone who threatens to leave every week." She looked like she'd been slapped. Her eyes watered, but not from sadness, from frustration. Because her old tools weren't working anymore. Affection, jealousy, guilt, none of it moved me. She wasn't used to being ignored. And when I started laughing more on the phone with friends, or working later, or leaving without explaining, she began spiraling. She called her best friend and cried on speakerphone loud enough for me to hear. "He's cold now. Distant. I think he's pushing me out on purpose." I didn't deny it. Because she was right. I wasn't pushing her out with force. I was doing something worse. I was letting her feel the consequences of her words. She wanted to test how far she could go. She was about to find out. She started packing. Not out of decision, but desperation. Loud movements, heavy sighs, slamming drawers, all for show. She wanted me to panic, to beg her to stay, to say something like, "Let's fix this." But I didn't. Instead, I walked past the half-packed suitcase and asked, "Need help with boxes?" She froze. "You're seriously going to let me go?" "You've been saying it for months. You're not even trying to stop me." "I used to. Every time you said you could leave, I fought. I begged. I apologized for things that weren't even wrong. This time, I'm just listening." She didn't know what to say. So she went back to pretending to pack. Tossed some clothes into a duffel bag she never used. Paused often. Looked over at me like she wanted me to argue. I didn't. Then I said it. "By the way, Rashid got approved for that apartment upstairs. Unit 4B. He moves in next week." She blinked. "What? He's moving here?" "Yeah. He liked the complex. Great rent. Short commute. But he's in our building." "Exactly." Her voice cracked. "So you're not leaving?" "No. I love it here." Never said I was the one moving. She stared at me. The panic was all over her face. "You planned this." "No. You planned this. Every time you said you could leave, I started preparing for what life would look like without you. You gave me no choice." She didn't pack another item that night. Just sat on the edge of the bed, quiet. The next day, she tried one last move. She texted me in the middle of the night. "Can we talk? I'm sorry. I didn't mean any of it. I miss us. Please just say something." I didn't reply. A few days later, I saw her in the building lobby, alone, touring the studio apartment I bookmarked for her weeks ago. She noticed me walking past and tried to smile. "Hey," she said. "Just checking out a few places." "Cool," I said. "That one's decent. Within budget, too. Maybe we could talk? Just once." "I'm good," I said calmly. The property manager walked by and nodded. "Mr. Hayes, Rashid's all moved in. Game night still on?" "Absolutely," I smiled. She stood there and watched me walk away, living, calm, stable. No begging. No second chances. Just done. She thought saying, "I could leave you any time," gave her power. She never expected the day I'd believe her. And even worse, that I'd be the one who never looked back.